Today, to my listeners and viewers, give me 20 minutes of your time. I am an early childhood practicing professional. I will be interviewing a teacher and a parent in the pursuit of understanding their perception about professionalism in the field of early childhood education. This is important to know. What do parents and professional teachers have to say? What professionalism entails? According to Phelps, 2006, professionalism aligns with the behavior and characteristics and as well ethics that represents the three R's, represent responsibilities, respect, and risk takers. As a professional, we are faced with challenges on a daily basis, but are assured by our underpinning practices and lifelong learning attributes. I am Trancoso-Calliste, your interviewer at this time. I have invited Miss Lisa Joseph to this interview because of her knowledge displayed and ideas expressed in early childhood education. She is also a first-class honor graduate with the University of the West Indies, the graduating class 2017. Based on Ms. Joseph's work ethic and experience in teaching, I believe she should be knowledgeable in the early childhood field. Therefore, she serves as a candidate that will analyze and answer the questions with accuracy and assurance. This will assist in my understanding of how teachers view professionalism in the field of early childhood education. The perception of professionalism in the field of early childhood education. So I have at least 12 questions here prepared for you, and I hope that we will be able to come to a conclusion at the end of this interview. So my first question is, what is professionalism? General basis. What is professionalism?
Thanks for having me today. To me, professionalism is basically a state of mind. It's about setting standards and best practices and applying those in your thoughts and in your actions.
That's quite interesting, because my next question is, what is your perception on early childhood education as a profession?
Again, to me, my perception on early childhood education as a profession. It is a profession because you have to, again, set best practices and apply it within your environment. So I do think that it is a profession.
Quite true, because these educators, they have a lot of organizing to do, so hence the reason for the next question. Are there philosophies, vision and mission at the school of your employment?
Yes, there is.
Do you see professionalism displayed at the early childhood schools on a daily basis? And if yes, how?
Yes, there is professionalism every day. It's just about interaction with parents, interaction with children, interaction within the staff. There is professionalism.
Yes, and it even goes deeper than that. But do the teachers communicate regular with parents?
Yes, they do.
And how regular do you see this being communicated?
Every day if necessary. It's really based on what is necessary. When you see parents coming to school, they might have time, or if there's a need. Once there's a need, there's communication.
Very well. And my next question, in the school environment, are the relationship between the teachers positive? Never, always, sometimes?
Positive always.
Always. That's good to hear. is there a positive relationship between the teachers and the parents? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's a good thing to have, proper communication in that early childhood setting. And my next question, are there enhancement programs available at the school? Never, always, sometimes?
Always.
Always, you say, quite interesting. And at least one, can you name one?
Yes, every year we have a literacy program where we teach parents how to teach their children to read and write and to set up the environment in a child-friendly way for their children that will maximize the children's learning ability.
Oh, quite interesting. So can you expand on that?
Yes, so one of the main things we do is to teach the parents how to, as I said, set up an environment for the child-friendly environment and label everything in that environment, because it creates a privileged environment where it will help them to associate words with items to help them to learn to read.
Very good. That's something that other schools should adopt. My other question, are parents actively involved in events and activities that the school hosts? Always, sometimes, never?
Sometimes.
The responsibility of labeling and the safety measures and maintaining an attractive environment for the children to be should be done by the head teacher, administrator. Next question, is the responsibility of labeling and the safety measures and parents actively involved in events and activities that the school hosts? Always, sometimes, never?
Sometimes.
The responsibility of labeling and the safety measures and maintaining an attractive environment for the children to be should be done by the head teacher, administrator. Is this my next question, is the responsibility of labeling and the safety measures and maintaining the attractiveness of the environment for the children? Do you think that this should be done only by the head teacher, administrator? Is that statement true or false?
That statement is false. Everyone should be involved in maintaining the environment.
All right. Are there parents and teachers meeting to collaborate ideas for the best interest of the children? Yes or no?
Yes.
And my final question here is, a teacher should not show up, a parent should not show up to a school unannounced to see what's going on. Is this statement true or false?
That statement is definitely false. We want to maintain an environment of inclusion, and parents should always feel they can stop in at any time. It also builds relationship where we have like a family environment. You wouldn't tell your family they can't come over or when they can come over. So that's what we basically want to develop within the school environment.
Very well. So this brought me to the end of our interview session, and I did learn from this interview, and I hope you as well. All right. So thank you again for accepting my invitation, for being part of my research, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I myself learned a lot from you, and enjoy your day as well.
Invited Mrs. Tessa Stanley Harry to be part of my interview because she is the mother of two of my past students. Being a parent in the school, she did researches and always kept herself abreast with school issues. Based on her commitment and her input into her children's education, I saw her as one of my selections to bringing me closer to the answer of parents' perception about professionalism in the field of early childhood education. Therefore, being able to express herself fluent and precise in the questions. Dear Ms. Stanley, thank you for accepting my invitation on this interview that will be happening today. Our interview is basically about your perspective on early childhood profession in our field. Alright, so we just have basically 12 questions. Yes, 12 questions just to see what you think about the early childhood education. The first question, what is professionalism?
Go.
Well, thank you for having me, Mrs. Calliste. You asked the question about professionalism. I believe in any good environment, professionalism is how you carry about yourself, how you deal with your customers, and in your case, how you will deal with your parents, whether there is an issue to be dealt with, the mannerism in which it comes across to the parent, right? And also having a solution to whatever issue arises.
That is so true. I love that answer. It was very close to what I'm thinking of professionalism is. So, what is your perspective on early childhood education professionals?
Go.
Well, in terms of early childhood professionals, I think they are very well taught in terms of their background education. Therefore, they are able to execute their teaching in such a way that each child, whether they are different in their learning abilities, they ensure that each child understands the material that is being presented on any given day.
Ready? Tell me. Are there philosophies, vision, and mission at the school your child attended? Seeing that she is not in preschool anymore, but the preschool that she attended before, were there a philosophy, a vision, and a mission?
Yes, there was.
Alright, that was a very good observation of you. So where did you see that philosophy and vision and mission?
In terms of if it was
Display.
showcased or
Yes.
displayed,
Mhm.
I saw it on their letterheads.
Oh.
Most of the time, it was definitely on that letterhead.
Alright, that was a nice way of putting it out there. Do you see professionalism displayed at the early childhood setting on a daily basis? And if yes, how do you see that being displayed?
Okay, yes, as mentioned, my child did attended a preschool, and yes, there were, oh my lords, I would say, let's put it in a percentage form, 95% of professionalism, right? So for example, in collecting my daughter on evenings, right, if it is the driver picks her up a little too late, the driver would be informed that, okay, there's an additional fee because the child was here beyond the school hours, and that information will be made back to me as a parent, just the way the principal would have said it to the driver.
Alright, okay. Alright. So do teachers communicate regular with your parents, with the parents?
Yes, they would have communicated regular, whether it's via phone call or you know what, we had a group chat. Oh, that was the bomb information key.
I was now going to ask you how regular and how they used to execute that. The group chat, that is a nice way of communicating with parents. So in the school environment, are the relationship between the teachers to you, were they positive? Always, never, or sometimes?
I wouldn't even use any of those words actually, you know. They were very supportive of each other.
That was good. That is nice. Is there a positive relationship between the teachers and the parents?
Yes, as I told you, that group chat alone, you saw that communication channel widely open.
Okay. So, were there any enhancement programs available at the school?
Yes, there were, especially for the parents. We normally would have had training sessions within a school term. For example, I remember a session where we were taught how to form letters as parents to assist our children in their writing.
You know, the teacher told me about that as well. That is a very good thing, this school you all are speaking of. So, can you tell me, are the parents actively involved in events and activity that are hosted at that school? Always, never, or sometimes?
Sometimes, I would say sometimes.
Okay. And the responsibility of labeling and keeping the safety measures of the school and maintaining the attractive environment that children had to be interacting in, would you think that will have to be implemented by the head of the school only?
No.
True or false?
No, I don't think it should be.
Are the parents and the teachers meeting to collaborate ideas and the interests of the children? Do they normally have meetings?
Yes, they do.
And last question, a parent should, this is a true and false question, a parent should not show up to a school unannounced to see what is going on. Is that true or false? They should not. And why you say they should not?
Because I believe you're supposed to inform, that you are coming to visit the school to ensure that the teacher is prepared for you when you arrive.
Okay then. Well, this brings us to the end of our interview, and thank you for coming through and being part of my research. All right, and it was a pleasure having to have this communication and interaction with you. Thank you again, Ms. Stanley, for attending our interview so that I can have this communication. I have learned a lot from you as well. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me, Mrs. Calliste. The conversation was very lovely.
I would like to take this time to thank you, Miss Joseph, and Mrs. Tessa Stanley Harry for their permission to use the interview on the online platform and their input and knowledgeable based responses. And also you, the viewers and listeners. Parents and professional teachers had similar responses in their acknowledging that professionalism is in the field of early childhood education. Although expressed differently, parents expressed and they appreciate knowing that education has reached this mark and hope that the field continues growing for better outcome in the future endeavors with stakeholders. The teachers believe that their job as a professional is applying good practices, having a good relationship with stakeholders, and to develop a positive atmosphere that is beneficial for all involved. Professionalism is built upon ethics, parental engagement, educators' interest, and working to enhance individuals' lives once an encounter occurs. And this is according to ECFS 3004, Unit 3. There are also the 3 R's from Phelps' values that contribute to the professionalism of educators: to be responsible, respect, and be risk takers. To inspire and to do as long life learners do in this profession, always strive for improvement. Thank you.